Hey guys, good morning. Welcome to the 8th of our 100 days of coding. It's been a while. Um, I had to pause because I had exams, so I had to pause for the meantime until I finished writing my exams. So right now we are back. Today is the 8th, and we are going to be going. Wow, we will be going over what we've done in our previous lessons. So this was what we were building here. So this was what we built up until now. So with this guy, we showcased a lot of things, a lot of important things to know about HTML and CSS here. So I'm going to be going over what we did in the previous lessons, how we got to this point here, and I'm going to try to be as fast as possible and explain everything. So in case if you've not been following us, please you go back, go through the previous lessons and see everything we've done there, yeah, so that this does not look like magic to you, yeah. So please, you need to take your time, go and follow the tutorials. If you have questions, feel free to DM me and ask me your questions. I will try as much as I can to respond to you as quick as possible, yeah. So with that being said, we on this little project we did, um, we worked on the nav bar. We used different syntax to build it. So we worked on the nav bar, so you can see this is our logo, although it's just a letter here. You can use images as logo as well, but for this project I didn't want to focus on graphics or make it complicated, so we just used later for the logo here, and then we align everything here using the flex. And then so this is the hero section here. I'm having a problem. I can't seem to find the UI we used. The UI we were working with. It's something I. Okay, I just found it. Yeah. So this is the UI we were building. So we would continue with the UI right now. We'll continue with it and let's see how far we can go. Yeah. So this is as far as we have gone. So we built this section, although we didn't style it exactly like this place, but the spacings and all that, the buttons and all that, we didn't style it to be as exact as what they have here. But you get the whole point. The whole point is just to show you how every section, every part of the HTML comes together to form a project, and how to style different things, you know. So this project is really packed. What I'm going to be doing right now, yeah, um, I don't want to build everything complete. I don't want to finish everything because I want us to get into JavaScript as quick as possible. So I think for this tutorial, we've already done something like this with our hero section, so we are not going to be doing it again. Yeah, so we've already done this. We did this. We did the image overlay. This is what we have here. We did the image overlay and all that. So we won't be repeating it. Instead, we'll just be building this part, and then I'll be showing you different things we can use, different flex properties we can use for here. So here now, if you notice, we have a kind of sections where we have an image here, an image here, an image here, an image here. Yeah, so basically I'm going to be showing you guys how we can do this stuff. There are two ways you can do something like this. You can use the flex property, the flexbox property, and also you can also use the grid property. Yeah, so for this tutorial I'm going to be showing you the flexbox property. So we are going to be using flex, and we are going to wrap in the flex so that it's going to be responsive. Yeah, so as the screen shrinks, it's going to be adjusting itself, so you don't need to hard code it, you know. you don't need to hard code it for every device, as the screen shrinks is going to be adjusting itself. So that's what we are going to be doing for this tutorial. Yeah, so with that being said, let's get started. Let's get this party started already. So this is how far we've gone. So let's start our third section rather. Yep. Now this was our first section, which was the hero section. Yeah, so this was everything that has to do with the hero section, and then this is the features section. So we have the features section, and then we have the hero section, so which is very important for us to note. So right now let's start the third section, so that um, we can try to be as fast as possible. And then I'm going to be reusing some codes here. I'm going to try to reuse some codes here. So let me just first of all, let me create the section that we want to start working with. So let's just say section. So we have our section, and then let's give it a class of let's call it a class of gallery of let's say gallery. Yeah, let's just say gallery. I think that's double L here. It's supposed to be double L here. Yeah. So now we have a class for our section. Now let's create a div inside the section. Yeah, and then let's just copy what we have here, this class here. So we need the container and we need the spacing. So remember, let's go to our CSS and let's see what those styles mean. Yeah, so if we go to our CSS now, our styles.css, let's look for, we created container. Now container gives us a margin on both sides, that's the x and y, as is the container gives us this margin. Yeah, and then the spacing gives us this margin on the top and bottom. Now this is a very bad way to write it. It works, but I wouldn't recommend this. We can do this in one line, just like what we did here. Yeah, but the problem is why we did it like this is because if we are to make the left and right of 0, it's going to override this guy. So that's why we did it here. Yeah, that's why we did it like this. We gave it a top and a bottom. So basically the idea of this is just to style everything to create as many reusable components as possible, so that we don't have to style everything individually. That's why we did it like this. So we have a container that gives us a unified space on the x and on the x axis, and then we have the space, that the spacing that gives us a unified axis, a unified space on the y axis. Yeah, that's basically the idea behind this guy here, so that we don't have to be creating and then trying to remember the amount of padding or amount of margin we give. So this will come in handy if you are building a very big project. It will come in very handy. Imagine you are building a project with like 30 different screens, yeah, and you want that consistency in the spacing. So declaring it once, you just need to be calling it anytime you need it. It's very sweet like that. But if you want to start declaring it every time you need it, then you go tire. That's the truth. So let's come back here, and then we have this guy now. So we know what our container and our spacing does. So let's just copy this guy here. Let's just copy, okay, let's copy the whole div, and then let's see what we have in it. So okay, so let's copy the whole div. Yep. And then let's copy our HR as well. So we need the HR style, so let's just fix everything inside here. So we have this guy here, so let's go to our browser and see what we've done. We are using live server, so it's supposed to show automatically, so you can see exactly what we have here is here. Now let's go to our UI and see what's supposed to be there and change it accordingly. Now according to our UI design, you can see the style is the same but the wordings are different. So now it just saves us a whole lot of time. We've done this whole thing within less than a minute. We've done the whole thing here. We just need to change the wording. We create stories, a killer narrative, we turn your readers into what's this, raving fans. Okay, so let's go back and then we create stories. Let's just change the content here. Instead of we build experience, we create stories. So let's just do something like that here. So come here, let's just change here. So we create stories and then we turn your readers into raving fans. Is that right? Let's see. Okay, a killer narrative will turn your users into raving fans. Okay. I think this is double R, yeah? Is that correct? So let's see. Yep, double R, correct. So let's come to our browser now. We're done. So okay, our create is not correct. So let's go and correct our create. It's supposed to be E before A. Okay, we create stories, return your users, yada yada yada. So now let's create a div to the main points, the points we want to work on right now. Yeah, this is so let's look at something here. Let's just do this tab and then let's look at something. I'm thinking of something here. So like this guy here, these features, let's see the style of the features and let's see if we can carry it along. Okay, so where's our features? This is the feature content, chemical compound, so we have the features here, but I don't think we used it. There was no style for the features. We have the features content, feature item, feature title, button, and all that stuff. So there's no style for the feature here. So why I'm saying that is because I wanted to use this gallery for here. I wanted to use it for here, but let's just say gallery image or gallery item. Now my naming is not really good here. I would advise you to come up with good names that will help your SEO and also help the search engine to understand what you're trying to do. Yep. So now we have this guy, and then let's just try to create divs inside it, and then we are going to create let's create a div first. So we have a div, and then inside this div, what we want inside this div now, we want an image. So this is going to be a class of gallery item. So notice that this is gallery items and this is gallery item. So each item here. So this is going to take first of all an image. So img tag. So it's going to take a source, which is RLC and RC, and then it's going to take an alternative text. So it's going to be item 1. Let's just give it that name, item 1, and then we are going to give it a class of gallery image. Now, I told you guys before that I like to use class. You can also use ID. You can use ID to style whatever you want to style, but for me, I just like using class. So we have our gallery image now. So underneath the image, we are going to have something like let's see, let's go back to the UI again and then see. We have a text, we have a H1 text, and then we have so let's just create a little div here. Now someone would say I like to use divs a lot. Yes, that's my own style of writing. Yeah, it makes it easy for me and it's very easy for me to read. It makes your code readable. Yeah, so just I think look for what works for you and stick to it. That is my advice to anyone who cares to listen. Yeah. So let's continue. Let's create a div, and then inside here we want to have a h4, sorry, a h4, and then inside the h4, let's see what they have here. Let's see, overcoming creative blocks. Okay. So we have overcoming creative block, and then we have a p tag here. So we just have this p tag here, and then we'll say by let's just say John Doe. So we have this here. So now for our image here, so let's go and search for images. Do we have any image we can use here? I don't think we do, so let's just go and search for image. Yep. So we just need one image though. I just need to show you guys. So let's go to Pixel. So Pixel is a place you can get stock images. I'll just say creative now. There's no harm. You can get stock photos here and videos as well. Yeah, so for your project you can get stock photos and videos for your projects, and they are all free. So that's the amazing part of it. They like, I think majority of it are free. These are creators coming and uploading their content here for you to use for free. So it's like really incredible. You can get really good photos here and use for whatever project you want to use. I like this one, so let's just download it. So it's downloading already, like it's free, and you get very high definition images like PNG images from here for free. That's incredible. And there are other sites like this. We have this in FreePic, or what's the name now? I can't really remember the names, but there are other places you can get images for free. Also you can get illustrations as well for free, and that is really incredible when you are building when you're working on a project like a pet project and there's no budget for it. It's really incredible because it covers a lot for you. Yeah, it covers a lot for you. Like, you can work on something and use so many resources on the internet just for free. You don't have to maybe buy your, like that. So let's just say gallery item. Yeah, let's drag the image into our image folder. So we have our item.jpg. So this is our image here. Let's just close it. So we don't need this. So this was our background. So let's just take it out. Now let's come to our image, and then let's see our source. Our image source, now let's say it should be dot slash. Now let's go into our public. Go to our public folder, go to our image folder, and get items. So let's see what we have on the screen, if it's displaying correctly or not. So it is, but the image is really big. So now this is where the styling comes in. So we've gotten our image to the screen, but it's really big. It's taking the whole screen. So you can see like the image is really big. So now let's style everything and let's get it working the way we want. So let's just close this guys so that we have more room here, and then let's come here. First things first, let's style our gallery. So come to our style, let's scroll down. Yep. And then you say dot gallery, and then you say first things first, you say overflow should be hidden. So we don't want it to flow out of whatever this thing. So I think that's all we need for our gallery here. That's basically all we need for it. So let's go and see if our overflow hidden works. So as you can see, it's no longer flowing to this part. You know, before we could scroll to, it scrolls like it goes is it horizontal or vertical, like it moves sideways. But right now our overflow has stopped it from doing that, but we are not yet out of the woods. So let's figure this image out and let's try to work on something. Yeah, so now let's come back to our HTML. So now we have our container. All these guys works very well. This guy works very fine. So we have our gallery here, and then our gallery item. So basically our gallery item is where all our items will be inside. So let's just take our gallery item first, and then so let's put our gallery items. Now let's give it a display of flex, so now let's say flex wrap of wrap, no, not flex direction, flex wrap of wrap. Now let's see justify between here. So there's going to be space between the items here, and then let's give it a gap of let's just say 10 pixels or 20 pixels rather. Let's say 20 pixels, a gap of 20 pixels, and then right now let's so now let's work on this guy. Okay, so we are done with our flex item, so let's work on our flex item now. Right now, so on our flex item we want to give this thing, the div, we want to give it a width of, let's say, 400 pixels. Let's see how that will look. So let's see if we have 400 pixels. So before that, let's just double this. Let's copy this guy from here, and then Ctrl+C, just paste it again so that we see what we are doing. So if we have something like this, now let's go to our fancy. So now you can see we have these guys here like this, yeah, which is really not nice. So although the flex is wrapping, but I think the pixels here is too much. Let's just give it 350 pixels so that we have space, we have room. Okay, so now it is still overflowing though, because the size we are giving it is really too much. So let's just see 300, then let's give it a, let's say, a margin to the left. Should we give it a margin to the left? I don't think that's right. Okay, so let's come to this place where we give it a gap. Let's give it a gap rule. So let's give this guy a margin. Imagine on the top and bottom we want it to be 0 pixels, then on the left and the right we want it to be 20 pixels. So let's take this guy out. This is wrong. There's no comma there. Px, not x. Px. So let's see what we have here still. Now our image is still too big, so it's overriding our style. So let's come, we are getting there. So now let's go to our image. I think there's something like item container. So let's come here and then let's take our image class, which is the gallery image. So what we are going to do is this: we are going to say, look, we want to take 100% of your parents' width. So we are going to say the width should be 100%. So let's see what we have here. Okay, so looking nice now, because we just told it, look, take 100% of the width that this guy is giving you, like your parent dip. So I'm going to try to explain it, but I noticed that this guy is too small, so let's make it for 400 rather than 300. So let's just change it to 4. So this is going to be 400. So basically what we are telling it is this: okay, look, take 100% of your parent div. Remember we gave our div a width of 400 pixels, and then we are telling the image now, take 100% of that width that we gave there. So basically we are done with this guy. We just need to repeat what we are doing here. Now I'm going to show you why we use our flex wrap for this guy. So let's go to inspect. So as you can see now, it has stacked itself. Like it has stacked itself. Do you get? So like what it does is, let me try to change the way the screen is. Okay, so let's draw this guy down so that you see it very well. So now you can see, like if we are shrinking it, it stacks itself. The moment it starts to expand, it opens itself. So now it is responsive. It solves the problem of your responsiveness. You want whatever you're building to be responsive, and this solves that problem already. Yeah, with flex wrap you can just make it responsive, and you don't need to maybe start styling this guy like this. So now let's come here and let's change something here. I think here, instead of space between, it should be center. So now let's see what that does. Okay, so now you can see it's now at the center. So let's reduce it, and you can see it takes the center of the page. Yeah, it's at the center of the page. So if you are going to a mobile view, now if you are going to for a mobile view, you can see that's it. It takes the page, it justifies it evenly. Yeah, So there's also justify even. There's also justify even. Now, if this whole thing comes with different use cases, yeah. So there are certain projects that you want to build that you need to maybe justify them evenly and all that stuff. So let's use the justify evenly and let's see what it gives us. So let's come in here, our code. Let's change from center to evenly. So space evenly rather, sorry. Space evenly. So let's see it. I've been using a lot of Tailwind CSS. So with Tailwind CSS, it's basically just evenly. You don't need to be doing space evenly and all that stuff. So you can see it's still the same thing. It still gives us the same thing. So our evenly now, it gives equal space here and equal space here. So you can also increase the number of things on a row. Yeah, you can also increase it. So basically what this guy does now is it calculates the width of this div here. It calculates the width of this div here, and then it sees if more than 2 can enter a row, it will put it. Now it also calculates, now this whole space is 100. Yeah, so I'm just trying to use percentage to give you an instance of it. It uses pixels. Now let's say this guy takes 40% of it, which means if this guy takes 40, okay, let's say this is a 100 pixel, the length of the screen now is 100 pixel, and then this guy takes 40 pixel. You know, you have 60 pixels left, which means another of this can enter. Now have in mind that we gave it a margin on the left and right of 20 pixels. So, or 20 pixels each, which is 40 pixels. Now we have 100 pixels, remember, which means if we are taking out our margin from the left, which is 20, our margin from the right, which is 20, and then our width, which is 40, we have 80 pixels already. Now there's no way this guy will fit into the remaining 20 pixels space. What it does is it just takes it down, takes it to the next line and starts again. That's it. So now when we increase it, now the pixels, it now has a bigger area, which means there are more pixels on the screen, which means now it has done its calculation again. It has taken out the margin from the left, margin from the right of this guy, margin of the left, margin of the right of this guy, and the respective widths, and it's discovered that okay, this guy can fit into a row. Yeah, so if we increase this thing to 200, it will take more on this place. Yeah, that's just it. So let's come here and let's just repeat it. So there's no need of maybe writing new let's just repeat this guy. Let's just copy it, Ctrl C, and, okay, so let's see what we have here now. Now you can see it just justifies it evenly. Now let's increase it and let's see. Already there's no space here for it to enter. There's no space. But if we are to come here now and then we take this down, our size here, we take it down to let's just say 200 for the sake of this tutorial, and then see what it will do. It automatically puts them in the same rule because they can all enter. Do you get? They can all enter because their size, it has done the calculation, and you can see how easy this thing is, and it's very responsive. Like, it's just super responsive. Do you get? So once you can see it arranges it, it formats it well arranged and all that. So these are easy ways you can do these things. You can just write instead of writing multiple lines of code, you can just use one line to solve your problem. So basically we've achieved this section of our project. We've achieved this section. I believe you guys can finish it up. You guys can finish this remaining section. So for this lesson, I'm going to be stopping here. I'm not going to build everything completely, but now I want you guys to do it by yourself. I want you guys to work on it and send me a screenshot. So which means I need you guys to work on this guy, this section here. Remember, we did something very similar to this, where we have an image and then we have an image overlay, added text on top of the image and all that stuff. And you can see this guy, we did something like this, which is like this. We did something like this. So these are things that you can just, if you've been following the tutorial, then achieving this will not be a problem for you. I want us to stop here, and then here also you can see this is something you can also do, and here as well this is something you can also do. So these are navigation links. As you can see, these are navigation links, like this is Facebook, this is Twitter, this is Instagram. Yeah, so please okay, let me zoom out a little bit so that you see the whole UI. Please feel free to pause, take a screenshot of whatever section you want to build and try to replicate it, or probably you can go to the internet and find this exact image. It will be very helpful to you. Yeah, the thing is this, no matter how if you are watching tutorials without building real projects, then you don't really know anything. You think you know how to do it, but until you get in and you start putting in the work, that's when you realize where your weaknesses are and where your strengths are. So please, I want you guys to work on something like this. Finish the project up. So just work on this section, work on this section. We've done the complex part of the tutorial. Work on this section. Everything here we've done before. So we did this here, and then so okay, let me try explaining something here. Now this guy here, you can do it the same way we did the navbar. Yeah, so you can see these are different items. These are different items with different fonts. Now you don't necessarily need to use the fonts, just get the items. And okay, let me try to zoom this part so that you can see what is written there. Yeah, so I hope you can see what is written here now. Get it done. And then also here you can, it's the same thing. We did something like this, so just use what we did here, use the idea from here to make this side work, and also make this side work also. These social media icons here, make it work also. Yeah, when I mean make it work, I mean do it the same way we did navbar. So these are things that we can do. And also here too, you can use the flex blocks property for here to achieve what we have here. Yeah, and then now the big kicker for this whole tutorial is this place here. We didn't touch it, we didn't cover it, and it was intentional. Yeah, this is a gradient background. So go and make your research and come up with your own. Make here gradient. Here have to be gradient. So please, I want to see screenshots. Send it to me on this thing. You can send it to me on WhatsApp, or you can send it to me on any of my social media platform. Yep. So that's it for today. Let's do a brief recap of what we did. Yeah, so back to our code. What we implemented today, we just implemented this section, which is very crazy. I am looking at what we were able to achieve here, because most of the time, most of the codes have already been written beforehand. Yeah, most of the codes have already been written. Like over here, this guy, we didn't need to write new code. We just defined gallery and then we gave it an overflow of hidden. Yeah, and then these guys are already predefined, so you can just reuse your code. Yeah, try to write your code in a way that they are reusable. Try to write your code in a way that they are really reusable. So it makes life easy for you. Yeah, if you have reusable codes, it makes life easy for you. Like you can just be, it's more like copy and paste, or like calling different components. So when we get into frameworks like React, we are going to see how to create custom components for different things to solve our different problems and needs. So that's all for this tutorial. And from our next tutorial, we are going to be doing a review. So I'm going to be expecting you guys to send me your projects, and then probably we do correction. But on our next tutorial, we are going to be starting JavaScript. Yeah, so we are going to be starting JavaScript on our next tutorial, and we are going to be learning everything there is to know about JavaScript. And at the end of the day, the goal is to build projects, and we are going to see how far we can go with JavaScript, and then we start using frameworks and all of that stuff. So for now, Thank you very much. Thank you for your time. Once again, this is what we were able to achieve today. Sorry, this is what we were able to achieve today. Yeah. So let's just close this guy here. So this is our design. This is what we did, and yep. I think this is pretty good. This is looking very good. Like, although this will not win the best style of the year, but you get the points. You get the basic points here, just to show you guys how to do basic things with HTML and CSS. So I think we have accomplished that. So on our next tutorial, we are going to start JavaScript, and we are going to be learning JavaScript. Please, I would advise you guys to also read resources. Look online for resources. W3 School, Free Code Camp. Those are resources that would really help you with web development. So thank you, or see you on the next tutorial.